All right, let's get my workplace set up for you since we won't be needing this. This is frame by frame animation for it that I did for almost the entire video. So
That's really impressive, actually.
yeah, I had to go through each individual frame, and it's literally images from the game itself. Like these are just ripped assets from the game edited. So like I like put I put like a tint filter on it. So it's just like what it was in the thing in the actual anime itself. This whole background though, this was just made by me. It was just made by me. Using assets only from BlazBlue and Persona. This background is an image in the game, in Persona Arena. This is from Arena. This image is from Arena.
Oh, I think I actually recognize that now that I think about it.
I think it's when Lavris is looking at the stars. I think that's what
Yeah.
it is. I don't actually know what it's from. I had to look at it again when I pulled it.
I just know that it's in like the spreader's resource thing. I think I've seen that with like picking out thumbnail images for thumbnails.
Yeah, this is what this is. The cat and the heart are platinum items, sized up differently.
That's like really impressive, actually.
Yeah,
I thought that was from like an anime or something. I thought you ripped that from a...
No. This is almost every single asset from this video. Either I made it, or it's from Central Fiction, or from Persona. As you can see from that giant piece of ice, that's what is that? That's Teddy's item, if I remember correctly.
I think so. Yeah, it's his ice thing.
These planets in the background, though, like the planets, this is actually really easy to make it in editing software. So what you do is you make your planet shape, and then after you make your planet shape, you go and pull a texture. It can be any texture, really. It could be like literal dirt. It could be a planet. It could be an asteroid. It could be really anything, and you overlay it on top of the image, and you reduce the opacity, and then now you have the texture for this image. Now you have the texture. So that's how you make the planets work. Honestly, in the original anime, they should have went for a gag like this. Because in it, they're looking at what is it? I can't remember her name, but it's just huge wrestling. Or whatever. And then I was like, you know what? I'll make a little gag here of them getting shocked. Why not? Just so you know, to do this, yeah, for this I had to have alternative lightning shots for every frame. That's how you make lightning in any of these, and then you just make sure the characters are moving at least semi in sync with it.
Okay.
For this, I also wanted to go for in the actual anime itself. It has the shadows. Like they're actually cloaked in, like they're either cloaked in shadows or they're filtered. So I was like, I'm just gonna do that since already the game uses this like art style already. We like a nice middle ground between the series and the actual game itself. Just so you know, I actually aired out on this. This is an older version of it. This, when it was first processed, actually aired out. He's supposed to be holding Yosuke in this, and Yosuke just glitched out.
Oh.
When I try to render it, he just glitched out. He's supposed to be holding like a choky Yosuke, like throwing it to the side with this, but like it just never rendered, and then it just aired out completely and corrupted the Yosuke files. So it's just actually holding thin air like a weirdo. But
maybe he's holding like an invisible smoothie. I don't know.
Smoothie.
I thought it was an aesthetic choice.
It was not an aesthetic. It became an aesthetic choice when it aired out, and I had less than 4 hours to make the video. And I was like, whatever. This is also from Persona. This is also from Ultimax. I don't even remember when they go to this place. I do not remember.
Sometime in the story, I kind of remember it. Yeah. I had to go through the entire story. It was not fun. But
yeah, I also went through the entire story. So I know I can point to you most things. I can't point to you what this was. I know it's minor. This took me a good 5 hours to make this animation of Teddy waving. Because he is cropped. I don't know if you know this, but there's a little chair in front of him. I hate this chair, but also it's the best way to make it showing showing a character being slightly in the background and not the top layer is the greatest way to have it so you like of immersion. I also had to redo the lighting on him entirely. I don't know if you noticed, but like, you know, Teddy looks.
I noticed
like,
that a little
he
bit.
looks in place.
There's definitely some color grading going on there.
I had to do color grading and lighting effects for it. So, and now you can see with it uncropped, this looks awful. And now, he's just right in place. So like if I were to just, this is like where it was when it started out, it'll look like this. This looks awful. Like, he doesn't belong, but then you do this and it's like, wow, he was always there.
Yeah,
and
it definitely feels a lot better.
And for this scene, I also had to move Teddy in sync with the movement of the background. With so it's actually, so he doesn't actually move out of place. And at the same time, I also had to add every single one of these frames. I had to add a new frame of animation on top of actually having to slide his model around.
So I have to ask. So did you animate the animation of him like waving at the same time that you animated him moving along with the camera, or did you do one before?
You have to do these at the same time. You have to do these at the same time because you can't really. This is what it'd be like if I did it one at a time. It would be like this. It would just be all stuck on one frame. Like he wouldn't be moving.
Oh well, I meant more like if you made a project, if you made like another sequence that was just focused on animating.
No.
And then you took that sequence and put it in.
No, I wasn't smart enough for that. I've endured many crashes because I did this. And also, it just makes it easier if like I ever want to like just go rework something, make a section shorter or make a section longer. Having it all in here instead of having to, okay, well I have to close this and open another sequence and then after I do that sequence, then I have to re-render it and then I have to pull it back into it. It would just take too long, and this already took me like 2 weeks to make.
That makes sense.
These right here, these are just directly from the game. These are just directly from the game with cinematic, just shots, like tracking shots, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Like that. This is pretty simple. This right here, though. People probably, I don't know if people know how I got this. I had to individually record and properly green screen the crystal from this stage.
Oh, to get it to animate properly? To get it looking like it's...
To get it to look good. Yeah. I had to individually green screen this, and then I had to individually green screen this this background for it. That's on that stage. Like this is just a green screen for it. Now we get to my favorite sections. The sections that I had the most fun on, the actual running sections. So
yeah, this was where like my mind went from, oh wow, this is actually really well done, to wow, this is really well done.
So this right here, this tracking shot of people entering the frame is super hard. So I have to make sure, I have to do frame by frame animation for like placing the frames correctly. I also have to make them move at a consistent rate to the left, while also having them scale down in a very consistent rate, while also having the background be in sync with the rate of everything that's happening. This is really hard. This was just really hard to have the actual animation work for it.
So like, how did you go about like doing it? Did you just like...
So first I wanted it. First I was like, because I literally had spaced the actual opening on another tab the entire time. Like every time I ever was editing this, the entire anime opening was on the side. So I had to make sure I got every single subtlety from it. So like in the actual opening, he actually runs like this from the camera. Like the camera actually pans out like this. So I was like, well, I gotta do it now. I have to do it, or what's the point? It's not authentic. So like, I grabbed the Nachi board and I just started. At first, I tried to do the zoom out thing, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be really hard. So first, I was like, okay, I'll just try to do the speed. But the thing is, when you do a zoom out like this, you have to make the speed slower, because like this is slower than the actual running, because it's like starting up. And even then, it's one of those things that if you have to, I also have to size it down, like over time. Every frame he has to be getting slightly shorter and slightly shorter. And at the same time, for the actual background, it has to also be getting smaller and smaller and smaller. At least enough that the human eye cannot, like, it's like, oh, this looks good. Like, the best way to, in my opinion, to like, if you have some very scuffed, very, very not great animation, it's just, play it at full speed. How's it look? That works. And that's when I stopped doing this. That's when I was like, okay, I'm done with this section. Because this was hard. The actual running section itself, I had to make every single background here. And I had to have like images layered on top of each other, moving at a consistent rate. So it actually has the illusion of being one really long background. But it's not. It's not one long background. Like, sorry for killing the magic for anyone who thought I just made one really long background. It just has the illusion of it. So what you can do to give the illusion of one long background is have your brain have something to latch onto between the frame before and the frame after. So here's an example. Right here, a transition happened and your brain didn't catch it. Because what I did was, on the bottom one, at the very edge of the picture, I have these crystals start showing up. Like, they're just some crystals. And your brain sees it. And then when you go to the next one, well, guess what this one starts with? It also starts with the crystals. And that's a transition. It's a super hard to notice transition. So when the images go together, you don't see it at all. You just don't see it at all. And then it's the same for over here. This is, I had these little blue things, I don't know what to call them. I just started slowly, it's like you just plant the seed of the next background in, and then have the next background have that be on that be on that side, so like, it just flows, like your brain won't even notice. The ideal thing for making these backgrounds is that, as an audience member, you cannot see what is edited. And you cannot see a clear cut. Like, you just don't see any cuts. It just looks like one long frame. And then also got I had to throw in a little asset here, doing a little Rachel Cross. All these planets, you know, as you can see, they're all textured. And the thing is, when all this goes by really fast, you can't really see, it's just the little details start really adding up for it. And it makes it, here's another one. I remember this one. This is the green crystals. Green crystals for here, and then for here. There you go. And you can see, that's how you can see that they're doing. And even then, there's a little error because I accidentally had this one go a little bit too fast. But it doesn't matter because your brain is distracted by this error by Teddy. Look at that, Teddy.
Ooh, it's Teddy.
For this, actually, I had to grab every single thing about it. I had to grab the TV, I had to grab Teddy, and I had to grab the static and have them moving in sync. I just took the animation directly from the game for this. Just another thing. You really have to learn one very good principle for animation, which is knowing when to like linger on a frame or not, like have a very established frame. Like, him coming out of this is really slow, but him falling out of it's pretty fucking fast. It's just fast. And then you have him bounce on top of Junpei's body, and you're like, ow. Oh yeah, here's another one. This one's probably the least subtle transition, I think. That right there. This is an image transition.
Yeah.
That was the least subtle one. But then again, people are getting too distracted by the animation. And there's also subtitles on screen. It's basically so much visual overload that I can make mini mistakes. This Narukami section has the same thing the Adachi section has, except this one's was way harder. So I had to go grab literally the stage in Blaze Blue. This is the stage in Blaze Blue that rains, and it only rains for like 20 seconds. I didn't know that it only rained for like 20 seconds until I loaded up the game, and then it goes to like.
So you recorded it.
I recorded.
So you recorded it in the game.
Yeah, this is an in-game record.
Okay.
For it. So I had to have it slowly zoom out from him. I did the same thing as I did before, where this has the background is zooming out at the same rate that Narukami is zooming out. I also had to, for every single one of these frames down here, I had to do different lighting for Narukami to actually make it so it looks like he belongs on the stage. And then like I do a little. This is just to guide the viewer's eyes to Narukami's face. It's just have the lighting slowly focus in on his face for a period of time, so you're looking there. You know, you should also just learn this in general, just knowing where your audience is looking and try to really focus in on it. Like, I want my audience to look at Narukami's face and sword, so I'm gonna have the lighting go directly on it when the animation starts moving. So that's where most people are gonna look, and if not, they're looking at the subtitles.
That makes sense.
This is the same thing. I had to grab lightning assets from Ultimax, from just all of the lightning assets, and just have them be shocking in between frames. It's erroring out right now because it's actually really taxing. Like, you see these green lines, that's just an error. For every frame I had to do different lighting for Narukami and for the lightning, and also for the background too. As you can see down here, the little cuts. These are for every individual cut. There is a different lighting effect in the background, and then when you have all this together, like it's very clear like lightning is flashing, like just flashing for it. This section for running, this one this one took me a second. Because I started to make all the backgrounds. At this point, I got really good at it. Like, I got really, really, really good at making these backgrounds. So as you can see, they're like in my opinion, way higher quality for it. And I also, because of the way they are, I had to make them 3 layers instead of just 2. And as you can see before, you know, little green dot, and then, you know, green fades to blue, and then you're segueing.
So you made all of these backgrounds inside Premiere?
No. I made them in Clip Studio Art. I could have made them in Photoshop. Like any video editing software, I could have made this. So all I did was, well, for the planets, like I said before, I just have the color, and then I have an overlay of like a literal texture. So like they just look really good as planets. And even then, they're only on screen for a second, so that's fine. I grabbed a lot of assets from the game, like a lot of items or images, and I did this effect, this manga effect. I don't know if you know this when you read manga. They have this lighting effect where for things that are shaded, they have a pattern like dotted or squared or diamond background for like shading. You should look at it next time you see a manga. Mm-hmm. I'll throw one on screen right now to show what I mean.
I've seen it before in a few manga.
Okay, so yeah, I had that effect on these because, to be fair, this effect is also in the actual anime intro itself. And it's hard to throw in a real ass planet. That's a real image of what, Saturn, I think. Yeah, that's a real image of a planet. I just lit it so it looks animated. Keep going through the background. Also, you know, little gag, you know, it's for even then I have to get in as many jokes as I can. So I made a little, this dude weeks Purgatory Chiron's bastard gets hit by filtered wings of Purgatory. That's funny. I thought that was funny. This is my favorite planet. This red one, something about it. It just came out really good.
It does look very, very red. It is really a very red planet.
Yeah. Here's another error that I'm a little ashamed of. So I have the him summoning all of his puppets, and all the puppets are all the robot characters from the 2 games. The error right here is when he actually moves with them, I accidentally forgot to put in the version where I put the wrong file in. Instead of doing his forward dash, he just kind of floats away.
Well,
I mean, people don't
it's
notice
comedic.
I mean, I guess it's pretty funny. Another thing, even though there's a lot of looping, so if you want to have a looping background, like a looping set of characters and have people not notice, is every time that there's a loop, add something new for people to look at. Like the first thing that happens is a giant Tager and at Noelle, because she's a robot. So
Oh my god, Blaze Blue spoilers.
It counts in my book. And then the next time it loops, you have Izanami. I can't even remember which puppet this is. I can't even remember which robot girl this is. I know this is one of them. I can't remember. Someone
don't really know either.
And then as it ends, I have the bull. Another thing that is just very visually appealing is like at the very lingering on this frame for like power. Like anytime anyone is charging anything up, the longer you linger on a frame or a set of frames like this, like they're charging up. And then what I did is you had to make it go really fast relative to it. So, and then like look at how fast it is relative to like the actual charging. And then also to make even better of like just a feeling of power, is I cut immediately on the frame the actual attack is coming out. It's only on screen for like a second. So that's nice. And not only that, it forces my viewers to look where I want them to look. Like I want them to look at the center of the screen because that's where the next shot's gonna be. So it just kind of, you really add it together of having things just flow well. So like you have it exploding, and then like if you're looking at his mouth or like head area, that's where the next thing you should be looking at.
Yeah, it's like leading your viewers' eyes.
Yeah, that's just a thing you should learn in general for making anything like this. It's just learning to lead your viewers' eyes places. It makes it really easy to make transitions and just things that are visually appealing for videos. This is also part of it. This background. This was my favorite background to make. I just really enjoyed making it a lot. It's just very visually appealing. If you want to know also just some classic errors. I was trying to erase this thing, and I got so mad because I was really messing up the erasing with my pen. And I was like, screw it, don't look in there anyway. So you can see that this isn't perfectly circular at all. And then the very background is the moon from the Dark Hour.
Oh, I actually didn't even notice that.
Yeah, people don't even think about it. That is it isn't literally the Dark Hour moon, but it is the exact same color scheme as the Dark Hour moon from Persona 3, as the light for this. And then this right here. This set of animation does not exist in the game. This is not an animation Junpei actually has in the game. This is not at all something he actually has in the game. But you're combining the victory pose with the starting pose.
With
the intro pose.
Yeah. It worked out pretty well.
Yeah. It worked out super well. The big thing you should always be thinking whenever you're making any scuffed animation like this is, if I play it at full speed, does this look normal? Does this look fine? And it does. I think at the bottom line, that's the most important thing if you're ever trying to make any animation like this from ripping assets. Oh, if I'm playing this at normal speed, is anyone going to be like, whoa, that looked bad? No, anytime everyone looks like this, they'll be like, whoa, how did he do that? Or like, whoa, what is that? I don't remember Junpei ever doing that or something. Then more establishing shots with credits. The credits aren't in this version of it. And then this background. I made this background about a week beforehand. This isn't. I put this on another video because I couldn't. I was just too lazy to make a thumbnail at the time. But I've been had this done because this was I made this I made this background, the stars and the shadows in the background for specifically for this video, like this video section.
Okay.
Yeah, and I edited a bunch of stuff around for it, and it's just a really good shot in general, very symmetrical. So anything in particular you want to ask about? That's everything.
I guess like if you could go into a little bit more detail about like maybe like looping, because like like the characters walk animations or
You
like
mean they're walking? Oh, you mean just they're okay. I can do this.
Yeah.
So here we go. Here are two. I can categorize this in like two types that I was using in this video for it, and that's walking in place and walking in center frame. And one of them is walking in center frame, and the other one is the background moving around the character. So for example, this right here, the background is moving around Junpei. Junpei is not actually moving. This is just a normal, nice loop. I don't have to do any actual movement on the sprite itself. I just have the background moving. As long as the background is moving at a rate that looks correct for how that character is walking or running, like you can see right here, Junpei's like he's walking, so it's moving really slow. And we can go later in the video with something similar. Minatsuki's running, so it's moving really fast, like nice and fast for it. And that's consistent for that section of the video. So for those, all you have to do is just loop it. Like just loop whatever frames you're gonna loop for it. That's all you have to do. And then for the actual difficult things, like it's also the same I did for here, but for the actual ones for movement of like that's gonna be difficult if you're trying to do this are the character moving and the background moving. So this happens when the character is how says the background is moving and the character's moving with the background. So like you can see right here, these characters aren't moving with the background. If I go from here to here or here, like if I click anywhere on it, they're all in the same spot. They're not actually moving, it's just the background moving. It's the illusion of like actual movement with the characters. But if I click here or here, like he actually has to move. I actually have to move Adachi so he's not moving. Like so he's actually moving with the background. And it's actually not that hard to do that. So what you do is you just establish like how fast you want the background to move. Like you always do the background first because it makes it way easier. You do the background, and then after you do the background, you make sure that the character is moving at the same rate as the background. So for example, what is this? It goes from 635 to 640. Okay, well then that means it goes up by 5. So it's going to be the same for Adachi. Adachi's position starts at 75, goes up to 80. Or 81, close enough. And then you do that consistently. They're going up by 5s every frame. And then as long as these frames are synced, you can just have it so he's moving consistently with the background. But it gets a little more difficult when you have something like Teddy for the illusion of it. Teddy's placed in a way where he's inside like an object. He's like behind an object. So you have to do the same thing. You have to do the same rate thing. But you also have to do that for the cropping. So as you can see, I had to crop this chair on every single frame correctly. And when I do that, for the entirety of the animation, Teddy is moving with it. So he's moving with it, and what'd you say?
Yeah, I was gonna say, like in a way, you're animating the chair as well.
Yeah, I have to. Yeah, you have to animate the chair as well because you have to animate the crop around the chair the whole time. It's way easy. It's pretty easy. Some things like this one's a freebie for the background stuff. I was thinking of adding like something, but you already know about this. Let me see if there's anything else for it. Oh, I think that's everything I can think of to show you, to give you a great example of what I had to do for it. Another thing, in between frames, make sure, just so you know, in between frames, people never actually get to look at it. So you can make stuffed smear frames. That's what I did in this video. I made a smear frame right here, I guess you could say. All I did was blur it, and then I added a specific frame from Junpei's auto combo. So it looks like he's falling over. The thing is, it lasts only for like a second. So people don't really see it, but as long as you have like in-betweens that you can really make yourself, or not really make yourself, just the big thing is just trying to fool your audience into making it look good. Because honestly, for me, this looks terrible now. It looks awful for me. But it doesn't matter. It's at normal speed, and for an actual audience, whoa, how do you do that? It looks great.
Yeah.
That's it. Oh, yeah, here's another time where I had to do that. I had to zoom in. Here's another thing for like making impact. There's a couple times where I had to make impact. So to do that, here's another thing for it. You had to I had to zoom in on Narukami's face slightly. The background zooms in and the lighting goes in on his face. I really want people to look at his face during this shit. But then as soon as it comes down, it shoots the camera out, and then does the lightning. Let me see. Oh yeah, here's another one that's funny. I had to filter Wings of Purgatory to look like the background. This was really hard. Wings does not look like this by default.
Yeah, I was actually like, whoa, that's Wings of Purgatory when I first watched it.
Yeah, I had to actually rip the sprite itself out of the game and then filter it so it's with the color scheme of the background. But here's another thing for it. If you can have really slow, big things, like you can have things that move slow, while with things that move fast are really appealing in these types of intros. So like, have all these fast characters moving while having Tigger move really slow during it, while they're all moving really fast during it. This thing's floating by, and then if this happens really slow, and then immediately cuts to this. So all I can really say for it, and I'll say this: another thing for making, if you're specifically making Fort intros like this, have shots, because this is just like with actual anime in general, have shots that are dedicated to giving credits room to breathe. Like credits in general, like as you can see right here in the top left, this is all dead space. There are basically no characters or action happening in the top left. So you're gonna place your subtitles right there. There's nothing really happening to the right of this. You can place it there. You can place it in the top left again there. Let me go to some other ones so I can show you a great example of it. This Teddy shot and this Adachi shot are specifically made for having credits in mind. Like, you can see, look at all of this dead space, just nothing there. You put your credits there. On the left, nothing, put your credits there. Like, on the right, put your credits there. Like, you should always give yourself room to put credits on top of having the actual animation itself. Like here, the entire left side of the screen, I'm using this for credits. But then like, whenever a character, this is what you wanted, like, if the character is ever on screen, or like taking up the majority of the screen, you don't want to have credits. Like this shot, they're like showing their feet, you don't want any credits. You don't want any of that. Because you don't want like to cannibalize your free space. So like on the right side, on the left side of this camera screen, on the screen now, you don't want any credits here. You want it on the right side. Like, you always want to give yourself room to place credits in any of these openings. So I only noticed that after dissecting just intros in general for series. You just really want to give yourself room. And then once you're done with all of this, like I was, that's when you start going in and you add credits. Because then it's like, I already gave myself room. I already gave myself like space to put credits, so I can just put credits here. I can put it on the crystal. I can put it at the top here. Like, it made it really easy for me to actually put these credits in the actual video itself.
This is very. This is this is a lot of work for what is essentially. I
Wait. Yeah, essentially what, huh?
Hey, I didn't say it. What?
No, I know you be. This is. Oh yeah, this is a lot of work.
This is all really impressive. Though. I gotta say.
I'll also say this: I'm not done making these. These are genuinely insanely fun, and I'm gonna make at least 3 more. I already have 3 that I already have. I've already what's the word? Not sketched out. Animate. There's this word, I can't remember what it is, but basically it's where an animator just draws boxes and has like, it's gonna go from
like
here
a storyboard?
to here. Yeah, I've already storyboarded all 3 of them for it. But I storyboard in my head because it's just me working on it. Like, it's just me. There's no one else working on this. There's no real point in writing it down for a lot of these because I have okay memory, but when it comes to my imagination, I have great memory. So like, and just like, I storyboarded a bunch of this in my mind. Like, this whole beginning section, this entire beginning section, I storyboarded in my mind, and it was the reason I made this video at all. This whole section right here. Then I thought about it, and I was like, okay, what if I imagine the rest of it? What would it look like? And then I imagined about half of it and went, I have to do this. I have to go do this because I know I can make this work. And then as I'm working on it, like, days are going by. It's always good to, if you're making any long project like this, if you're getting like exhausted of like, oh man, this chase section right here is really hard. Just move on to another section of the video. Maybe I'm just a scatterbrained person, but when I worked on this, I did not work on this in order at all. The final thing I did in this video was, where is it? This right here. I added the lighting on Arakami's face. That was the last thing I did on this. Because
that's like in the middle of the video.
Yeah, it's completely in the middle. I made this end section near the beginning of making this video. Like almost like before this third was done, I made the final cut right here. I made this. But that's another thing I'd say to make it really good. If you have any ideas for like things like this, like any ideas of like intros or whatever, you can just tell me. Like, hit me up directly, and if it's good enough, I'm just gonna make it. That just sounds fun to make. Like, making these intros are really fun. Like I said, I already have another one in the oven right now. But yeah, I think that's everything I have to say about it. Gotta put in the effort to make stuff like this, I guess. Gotta put in the effort to get 2K views. Oh yeah. Can't wait for my 2 weeks worth of work for 2K views. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, you love to see it.
But I think that's a big thing for making any content like this. Like, genuinely is, you really shouldn't care if it's successful or not. It's just, as long as the people who you want to see it get to see it and enjoy it. Like, I want everyone who enjoys Persona and BlazBlue to enjoy it. That's why I hit up like people who like, I know people who like, I know like BlazBlue, who I know like Persona to show them this. I'm not gonna name drop them because I think that'd be rude, but you guys know what I'm thinking of right now. Eventually they'll probably watch it. I hope. That's the thing. I hope everyone who I try to show this to watches it and enjoys it. If I never break 5K views until I die, well, it is what it is. But at the end of the day, as long as those 5K people enjoyed themselves for like 10 minutes, I win. That's a dub. And you know, I hope I can like get more people to play this game. That'd be sick.
That's the goal.
Yeah. But I think that's everything. Yeah, that's everything for it. You got any more questions?
No, I don't really think so.
Okay. Thanks for actually one thing to add before this ends. Durabon was the one because I was kind of cutting it close. I couldn't finish all the subtitles in time. Durabon is the one who made all the Japanese subtitles. Don't at me for what they mean. Because I gave him everything I gave him the size, the font, the colors. I gave him all of that, and I told him where to put all the subtitles. I did not tell him what to put the subtitles for. I have no idea what they are. I have absolutely no idea what he put for it. So for anyone who asks,
the script of the B movie.
Yeah, for anyone who asks me, hey, what do the subtitles say? At Duraban. Not me. I don't know what they say. Ask him or ask someone who actually knows actual Japanese, because I don't know what they say. The only thing I required him to do was near the beginning or end of the video, make sure it's stated that I'm the one who made this, and that's it. And then he could do whatever he wants with the subtitles for funsies. And he did. So
well, it all worked out.
it did all work out. But yeah, I'm still gonna make more of these, and I'll be honest. That's the other thing is as long as you're keeping at stuff like this, you're gonna get better. As you can see from the first version of the chase of this, relative to the the second time I was trying this out, you just you'll get radical improvement as long as you're actively trying and you're going back to rework things. And if you have any videos or any art content at all, if you know anyone who actually knows what they're doing, hit them up. Ask them for advice on it. That's always useful. Helps you improve things. I mean, I didn't have anyone that asked, but for this, but you know, if you do, that's great, because I wish I did. I didn't. I had to figure all of this out on my own. I would say about 4 days out of those 2 weeks of making this section, it's just me figuring out how to even make this a thing. How to even make I'm good at editing. I have never tried this before. So
well, I think you did pretty well for your first attempt.
I
guess second and third attempt as well. But yeah.
I agree. Thanks for thanks for stopping by, Zito, and asking oh, actually, how do you make this? If you ever need any help on anything like this, actually just hit me up, man. I'll go out of my way to help you. We're all part of this community. If anyone wants to know anything about, actually, you don't even have to be part of this community. If you want to know anything about any of these editing processes or anything, just ask me, and I'll show you. I'll directly show you exactly how I make any of this. And just so you know, nah, I'm not gonna do that. So this video's probably locked enough for it. I'm not gonna show you exactly how I made all of these backgrounds, because that would take a while. But I did make all of them.
They look really complex.
They are really, really complex. And there's a lot of subtleties in them, such as, I don't know, the music notes above the little mini platinum plushie thing, or the slanted lines, or all of the individual planets, or the color scheme itself. That stuff's a little that would have to be its own video for show how I make this art stuff. Like, if people who are like, oh, I don't know about playing this game, see this video and then join the Discord and then meet the people here and then like, oh man, I really like the people here. And I like this game, but like the people here are like keeping me here, helping me play it, like teach me how to play the game, teach me multiple characters, and it's just fun to be here. Like that's the ideal. That's the ideal. Is like,
honestly, it's better in between games 3 than you doing something right.
I'm gonna explicitly cut that out, and I'm gonna cut to us
every
talking
single
about it. I'm gonna cut to us talking about it, but I refuse to actually be in the video.
Just puts a link in the description to the video.
Oh man! Oh yeah, that's another thing. I didn't get any money for this at all. My parents.
Yeah,
I showed my parents this or whatever because they're asking me like, oh man, what you been working on? Because they know I work on like art stuff, and I'm like, oh yeah. Besides the art stuff, I've been working on this. And I'm like, oh, were you commissioned for this? And I like died a little on the inside. I died a little bit on the inside where they're like, are you commissioned for this? Like, did you get paid for this? Like, no. Oh, what about the logo you're working on all day? Did you? No.
That's me whenever I make a YouTube video or YouTube thumbnail for the.
I just say like, you know that scene where SpongeBob and Patrick are sitting in the middle of the woods and like Silver is crazy and they got like the dumb face. That's me. That's me. And you're just sitting in the dirt, like we're just sitting there like, oh, we were just making things. Money.
Wow, money? That is a very interesting concept you got.
That's interesting. That's quite fascinating. Like all the editors and people who make art stuff in Discord, I have the most respect for everyone here who does that. And all I can think is like, man, all of us don't get paid for it. And I know all of us have one moment in time where we're really putting in the hours to something for it, and they're like, damn. I really hope I really hope no one asks me when it's done because I'm not getting paid for it. Every time, I think everyone here has had a moment where someone was like, "Hey, when's In Between Games 3 done?" And I'm like, "Bro, I don't get paid for this. I work a 9 to 5. I have college. Fuck you." I just want to say that, and I'm just like, it's in the oven." That's how I say it.
There are definitely times like that for thumbnails where I'm just like, well, it's getting done. It'll be done eventually.
Yeah,
you know.
No, your thumbnails are amazing, man. But oh my god, I am. That does get under my skin. I don't know about the other like artists of the Discord or whatever, but yeah.
I kind of feel that.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah, it's just something I now have thought about in general. I'm just like, damn. What is it? I made this joke before. Like, also the fact I had to deafen for audio synchronization. I literally had to be alone when I make this. I can't talk to anybody at all because I had to synchronize all the audio for like video editing. So I can't talk to anybody during it. So it's taking 9 hours of my day by myself. I start going a little crazy, little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. There's a meme I used to do by myself, like 2K, because I was sitting there and I was like editing the video, thinking to myself, "Oh, this for 2K views," and I was just silently in the room by myself, like 2K. Like I probably sounded like a crazy person just sitting there like, yo, 2K.
Just in an insane asylum, just randomly screaming 2K.
2K.
Oh my god. That's when you know. That's when you know you've been doing something for a little too long.
2K. Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I'll say this. That's what keeps me going with editing too. It's just little inside jokes to myself. For example, Underhead. I'm gonna release a video about that at some point. Underhead became a meme to only me. Because
like,
I missed
Underhead instead of being alone.
No. There's at the end of In Between Games 3, there's a clip that says Underhead. That clip has haunted me. I mistyped typed the name. And every week for the past, since in between games 2, no, before in between games 2, every week I look at it and I go, what is this file? This file's named weird. And then I open it and it just goes, Underhead. And then it closes. It closes my software.
Oh.
And then I forget completely because I was like, that's stupid. I don't have time to fix that. And then I go back to editing something or doing like classwork or something. And then it stays there. And then a week later, it happens again. And I looped it so many times that I had a whole conversation with Stax. He's the guy who says Underhead in the video. I had a whole conversation with him about it. And then I forgot to rename it again. And then I renamed it eventually. And now I never open it. But now it's just Underhead. I just think that every once in a while when I'm opening a file, I'm like, oh, I hope it's not Underhead. Haha. I hope it's not Underhead.
Uh-oh, not Underhead.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's... Oh, okay. We're ending it. I'm actually ending it. I have nothing more to say.
You have nothing.
Thank you for your time, Zeno.